Hello everyone, this is Miss Freeze. I am going to talk to you about a few techniques you will be using on your illuminated letter repousse. Right now I'm just sketching out my letter in pencil. All of you have probably done this already, but I'm just taking note of any detail that I would like to have and thinking about which parts of it I might have stand out later. So next I would like you to get a magazine and tape. I am just going to have you tape the paper to the metal. That way when you trace it, they don't get separated. Now I'm also going to tape my metal to my magazine and the magazine to the table, only because I'm making a video, but you don't need to do that part. The next thing I'm going to do is take a pen and trace over my pencil lines into the metal on all the lines that I made, just so that I can see where I would like to emboss later. And I'm using my ruler again just to make sure I have straight lines. Again, any lines I made I'm just going to draw over, and that is embossing them into the metal. At this point I am going to remove my sketch from the metal, and you're going to see a faint line underneath where the pen went into the aluminum. Now I am going to take the wooden tool and start tracing the pencil lines again, so that they go a little bit deeper into the aluminum, and now there are more bold lines. And looking at the wooden tool, there are two sides. There is a thin side that I am using right now, kind of like a pencil to trace everything. It's a little sharper. And then the end side, I'm going to use a little bit later. I am using to emboss and really get into the larger sections of the aluminum. Now I am going to begin to work with the repousse technique, and that is the part where we push and pull out some of the aluminum to make it stand out. Remember that when we make something protrude, that's when we make it pop out, and recess is when we make it go back into space. So I am going to use the ends again, thinking about where I want things to recede and pop out. So I am looking at the E, and I would like to make that stand out. So I'm going to flip the paper over and use the wooden tool to go into the E and make it stand out from the front. Right now I am sort of making marks on my paper so I remember which parts I want to protrude and recess. So I'm taking the fin, and that is where I want to go back into space, and on the front I am pressing into the aluminum. And I'm using the other side just to really get even lines, thinking about craftsmanship. I'm trying to stay within the lines that I made. That's also important for this. And now I'm going to flip it over and trace on the back. So if you want it to recess, you press in on the front and you trace on the back. And you have a nice indent. And now for something like the body of the fish, or the letter E, for example, which I would like to protrude or pop out of the paper, I am going to turn the paper around and use the tool to press into the part that I would like to pop out on the other side. And then after I have pressed really evenly and hard, again thinking about craftsmanship, I will flip it over and then outline. So you're going to continue to do that over everything you've traced. Remember, making something recede would be pressing into it in the front and tracing it on the back, and making something come out of the paper or protrude, you would press into the back and trace around the front. And just go through, remember your border, and make sure you get everything you traced.